tyres. They're a lot more than just 4 rings of rubber attached to the 4 corners of your car. As the only point of contact between your car and the ground, they're arguably the most important piece of safety kit on your car. Choose the right ones and you can enjoy miles of safe and stress-free motoring. Choose the wrong ones, then not only are you potentially gambling with safety, but it could also cost you more in the long run. I'm Grace Webb and I'm here with Motors teaming up with Bridgestone and Kwik Fit ahead of the British Motor Show to take a deep dive into tyres. We'll be looking at the different types of tyres, how to check if your tyres are safe and which ones you should be looking at when they need replacing. So let's start with how to look after your tyres. After all, a well looked after tyre will not only be safer, but last longer and help to reduce running costs. As you may know, tyres have tread grooves moulded into the rubber to funnel water through in wet conditions. Without these grooves, the tyres would have no wet grip at all. So it's important that the groove depth, referred to as tread depth, is checked on a regular basis. We do get plenty of rain in the UK after all. The UK legal minimum tread depth for cars is 1.6 millimetres, but you shouldn't risk waiting to replace them when they get to this level. Tyre and safety experts recommend that you change your tyre once the tread depth is less than 3 millimetres. And the best way to do that is by picking up a tyre tread depth gauge and remembering to check frequently at 3 different points across the tyre. Another thing to do is make sure the tyre pressure is regularly checked too. Over time, air will escape from the tyre and driving on a slightly deflated tyre can cause a few problems. Underinflated tyres are one of the leading causes of tyre failure. When a tyre has low pressure, it deforms further than it should and in turn can lead to premature wear, tread separation and eventually a blowout. The change in footprint can lead to longer braking distances and an increase in fuel consumption. A quick check with a tyre pressure gauge like this one will let you know if they're running lower than they should be. If you're unsure what the readings for your tyre should be, then they're usually on a plate inside the door frame, on your fuel filler cap or in your owner's manual. Keep in mind that these numbers refer to the wheels that came with the car. If they've been changed with different size wheels or tyres, the numbers may not match up. Another thing that's worth doing is a quick tyre inspection, especially if you're going on a long road journey. Have a look around the tyre to check for any cracks, air bulges or anything lodged in the tyre, as this could save you an annoying tyre change on your journey, but more importantly, it's about your safety and that of other road users. If you're going to view a used car with a consideration to buy, then it's well worth checking the condition of the tyres, as they may need replacing before you buy. It's also worth checking the condition of the spare tyre. Is it a space saver or has it been used before? Bear in mind though, some cars don't have spares. Instead, they have tyre sealant and inflator. This is a short-term stopgap which seals any punctures until the tyre is ready to be replaced. If the car doesn't have one, then it may have been used already. Finally, some cars have what's called run-flat tyres, which can continue running in the event of a tyre deflation. These generally tend to be found on a more premium car and, as you'd expect, can come with a more premium price tag. So now you know what to do to maintain your tyres, but what should you do if a tyre needs replacing? Any tyre that falls below the 1.6 millimetre tread depth is illegal and liable to 3 points on your licence plus a fine, so should not be driven. It is possible to have a company come out to you to change the tyre remotely for a fee, or alternatively, if the car can be driven, then we recommend you call ahead to make sure that they've got the right tyre in stock. The information you'll need to give them is a sequence of numbers and letters displayed on the sidewall of the tyre. The first number indicates the tyre width, in this case 250 millimetres. This is then followed by the tyre aspect ratio, essentially the height of the tyre wall as a percentage of the width, in this case 40. There's then a letter, which here is R, which refers to the tyre construction as radial, the most common type for road cars. Following this is the inner diameter of the tyre rim in inches, in this case 17. Next up is the tyre load rating, and finally is the tyre speed rating, which is a letter code representing the maximum amount of speed the tyre can handle when it's correctly inflated and under load. You may need to tell the tyre fitters whether your tyres are run flats. These are designed to last without pressure for approximately 50 miles at 50 miles per hour. It's worth noting though that if you get a warning light about your tyres, they will need to be changed as soon as possible. The markings for the tyres can vary between manufacturers, but will often be shown as RFO, EMT, RFT, ZP, SSR or DSST. So now you know the size of tyre that you need to replace, but now it's on to the topic of how many. Craig from Bridgestone is here to share his advice. So Craig, can I just change one tyre on my car?
So Bridgestone's advice is that when you're coming to replace a tyre, if there's just one that's worn down, you should ideally replace in an axle pair. Ideally, for optimal performance, you should change all 4 tyres at the same time. The reason we suggest not doing just one tyre and at a minimum doing the axle pair is because if you replace just one tyre, that one tyre will potentially have much more grip than the others that are remaining on the vehicle. So if you're in emergency situations where it's really wet, the rain is pouring down as it typically does in the UK, and you start to lose control of that vehicle, that one tyre that has more grip will hook up, and that could cause the car to spin and could be quite a distressing experience for yourself as a driver and any passengers and other road users.
Right, so does the type of driving that you do affect the kind of tyres that you need?
Definitely. So if you're doing a lot of motorway travel, for example, with occasional visits into the city, you'll be wanting to go for a summer touring tyres like the Bridgestone Advice 6. If you're concerned about the constant changing weather situations that we have in the UK with snow coming in winter, heavy downpours with April showers and then summer sun, you'll be wanting to opt for something like the Tyre All Season 6, so our all season offering that covers for all situations. If you've got a high performance vehicle or a sports car, then you'll be looking at something like the Bridgestone Potenza Sport, which will give that correct steering response, input and feeling that you want when you want to make the most out of your car.
So is it worth splashing out on a premium tyre, or can I really get away with a budget set?
Choosing a premium tyre really does make a difference for safety, durability and just that peace of mind. Premium manufacturers spend millions every year on cutting-edge R&D, ensuring that we have the latest technology going into our tyres, the highest quality materials to ensure that when those tyres are fitted to a vehicle and you're driving on the public road, you know that you're safe and your vehicle is in control.
So in your opinion then, which is the best tyre from Bridgestone to use?
So as someone who's really interested in high performance and sporty cars, my favourite tyre is the Bridgestone Potenza Sport. It's a really high quality tyre that will deliver exactly what the petrol head wants from their vehicle. If we're talking for the general car user, driver in the UK, then it'd be the Tyre 6. It's a fantastic touring tyre with a 20% improvement in longevity for its mileage compared to the predecessor. Increase in its fuel efficiency as well, so if someone was to fit that tyre to their vehicle, they'll be using less fuel to take their vehicle down the road.
So if you are looking at buying tyres on a budget, are part-worn tyres something that people should be considering?
Whilst that cost saving can be tempting, it's quite a dangerous thing to do, and the reason being is that when you buy part-worn tyres, you don't know what the history of that tyre is. With many part-worns, if you were to actually pull it through an X-ray and inspect the inners of that tyre, you'll find that the cords and the inner construction are actually compromised, and that might not be apparent from outside of the tyre until you're several miles down the road and then you experience a blowout, which is a very frightening scenario to be in.
So should you really take notice of tyre label ratings, and what do people need to be looking out for?
Yeah, so when someone's looking to buy new tyres, it's really important to look at those tyre label ratings. So there's 3 categories that tyres are currently rated on. So you've got the fuel efficiency rating, and that's an alphabetical scale. So ideally you want to be, when you can, going for an A-rated tyre. That means it has the lowest rolling resistance, which takes the least amount of energy to move. That results in less fuel being used. You've then got the noise rating as well. Particularly when you're factoring in electric vehicles, you want to ensure that that tyre is not going to be putting lots of noise into the cabin. The final of the ratings is also on an alphabetical scale, and that is the wet performance. So again, ideally you want to be going for a A-rated tyre if you can, to ensure that you've got the best performance in a wet scenario. The difference between an A-rated down to a lower rated tyre can be quite dramatic, increasing that braking distance in an emergency situation, and it could be a difference between having an accident and getting home safely.
Yeah, tyres are constantly evolving, so what developments are being made for the future?
So Bridgestone puts a considerable amount of effort and resource into its research and development to ensure that tyres are developing and getting better all the time. One of the most recent developments is our Enlighten technology. Enlighten is a combination of cutting-edge technologies, providing improved sustainability credentials and EV readiness without compromising on safety or performance.
So as you can see, there's a lot more to replacing your tyres than opting for the cheapest one. It's key to keep an eye on your tyres to make sure they're in good condition and properly inflated. Selecting the right kind of tyre for your type of driving is also extremely important, and in some cases spending a little bit more can be safer and more cost effective in the long run. Thanks for watching this motors video, and if you enjoyed it then give us a thumbs up, but if you want to know more then pop us a question in the box below. And while you're there, don't forget to hit subscribe so you can stay up to date whenever we release a new video.